Welcome. Sorry. I am, yes, welcome to the channel. This is Necrasson, of course, and I'm just doing a little load order test right now. I have 93 mods active at the moment, and the Let's Play will be kicking off soon. At least that's the plan. And right now, I just want to make sure that the mods are playing nicely together, that I'm not having any glitches or strange anomalies, and no crashes to desktop especially. I don't know why I cannot get my FPS to show up. That's something else I wanted to keep an eye on. But I just want to check out things in here. I have a different weather mod in right now, and by the way, this is going to be some things in here are going to look a little bit different if you've seen some of the other videos. For example, the stairs look a little bit different. This is Noble Skyrim that retextures these stones. I kind of like the old ones a little bit better because you definitely have a repeating pattern there, which is no good. But the other parts, I like what it did with the other parts. Anyhow. What was I saying? Yeah, there's going to be a little bit more than me just running around here. I do need to make sure, again, that there's no real glitches or strange anomalies, crash your desktop. Everything is working right. There are a few major mods that I've not yet installed. The water mod. The odd thing about the water mod, and I'm going to use Realistic Water 2, I've compared that one against Water for ENB, and I still prefer Realistic Water 2. They're both very nice. I still prefer Realistic Water 2. The thing about that is, if I choose one of the watercolor options, which I probably will, and then end up changing weather mods, which I might, it, for whatever reason, whenever you do that, it wipes out the watercolor, and I have to reinstall it, and it gets a little annoying sometimes, so I think I'm just going to not do that yet. I do not have the lighting mod installed yet either. There's still a few more things I have to check out and some patches I need to get. But most of the mods that I plan to use are in the game. The weather mod that I have in right now is Raid Weathers. And you've heard me talk about, well, you may have heard me talk about Realistic AI Detection. That is a mod that it alters the AI's detection parameters. It makes sneaking a lot harder. I do have that installed right now. I don't think I'm really going to give a demonstration of that, but it's essentially, I have on the high interior, high exterior version in, and it just makes gives the AI a greater ability to see in areas that have even a little bit of illumination, and you get spotted if you're near a light source a lot easier. They look for you in a larger radius and a longer period of time. It makes sneaking a lot more difficult and a lot more challenging. But there's a few other things I want to talk about here, so you may want to hang around for this. It's going to be a little more than me just walking around, checking out the scenery. Also, in addition to not having the water mod or the lighting mod in yet, which I'm still planning on using ELFX shadows. I do not have Dynalod installed yet, because that's usually the last thing you do. Because if you add any mods that adds anything to the exterior world space, you have to regenerate LODs for it. Otherwise, you could get a crash. I don't think Dynalod likes that too much. But I do have a couple of very interesting stories to tell. So, but right now, I am wearing some hooded necromancer robes, because we're going to be playing kind of a sort of necromancer. So one of the things that I want to talk about was shapeshifters, because I've been kind of watching a few videos on YouTube about ghosts, paranormal, aliens, UFOs. I'm not really into that stuff, but I watch those from time to time. It's interesting. And of course, I always talk about shapeshifters, which, if you don't know, it's a entity that can take the shape of a human, and then it can change its shape to a creature, an animal, then change its shape to another human, a different one, and then back to animal. They shapeshift. And I thought, man, I wonder if there's anything in Skyrim that does that. And I think one of the Daedric lords can do that in lore anyway. I don't think you ever actually see it in game. So I thought it might be kind of nice to have that ability to shapeshift. You know, I mean, is there a way that we, the player, can do that? Let's find out. There's some wolves. Come on, Wolfie. Look, I'm a saber cat. Okay, I didn't actually shapeshift there, but that it does give that impression. Go away, kitty. It only lasts for 30 seconds, but yeah, I created a shapeshift spell. I have a power that does it too, but I don't know if I want to try because I don't think it's working right. There's another wolf. Let's try this again. Boy, get together, you two. So there you go. That's my version of a shapeshifter. This is actually, I made a spell like this for Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. I had a few of them there actually, but it's pretty simple to do. So what the spell does, it's very simple. You cast the spell, you go invisible, and you summon a saber cat or whatever creature you want. I could try the... Well, let's see. Do I want to try the power? Let's see if it works, because it didn't work before. Yeah, it's not bringing up the Spriggan for some reason. Alright, well, we'll go back to that one. Alright, so... Yeah, I made several of these in Oblivion. I thought, you know, I got to try that. I got to bring that in game and give it a try. So, a couple of the mods I have in right now. I have Majestic Mountains Light Side, and overriding that I have Granite Mountains. And I have Granite Mountains overriding it because I wanted the LODs from Majestic Mountains, which doesn't really matter right now, but it will when Dindalod's in. And Happy Little Trees, Tamarielic Textures for the ground, and the grass mod I have in right now. Here in the forest area, this is Cathedral 3D Pine Grass, but that is overriding Grassfields SE. I'm still undecided on what grass mod to use, so Grassfields may be the one I end up going with. It's very samey, but it makes Whiterun hold green, which I really want, and not all of them do that. And it's very performance friendly, which is great, because, you know, I like to stay as close to 60 FPS as possible. Let's see, there's some bandits up here. Let's go, let's give them something. Let's see. These guys are probably level 1 bandits. We can give him electron beam. Hey, man. Oops. Darn, did I grab the uber powerful version of that spell? Oops. I'm not going to point out every mod that I have installed. I just wanted to mention a few of them. This is another one I really like. And I'm going to put the name of this one up on screen. I think it is, I'm just going to put it up on screen because I can't remember exactly what it is. Weathered road signs or something like that. It's this one's really nice. What I like about this mod is that they look very old and very weathered, but unlike other ones that do that as well, that are just so hard to read, this one's it's very legible. And you know, there were others that look really, really good, but yeah, you can't read them. Well, I can't anyway. So, but that's why I really like this one. Old, weathered, and still legible. And I need those road signs. I get lost all the time. Hi, kids.
It's a bad time to get lost, friend. Gonna split your belly like an old woman.
Oh, that's that. And you are one ugly mug. Oh, so's my character, for that matter. Ha! Alright, so we're going to take a walk down along the lake, and I really love this overcast. Oh, I was talking about raid weathers. Yeah, I was talking about how raid improves the AI's detection parameters. What do you see, man? Oh, he's putting it away. Raid weathers, it takes into account the weather. When you're outside, you're trying to sneak around outside. Maybe you're trying to sneak up on a Forsworn camp or a bandit camp. If there is something in the area, I mean, if it's foggy, if it's getting dark, if it's a heavy rain, those factors could make it so you're a little harder to detect. And with the normally that it may not do that, but with raid weathers, it will include that. Let's see. Let's try somebody else here. We've seen all these guys before, but wait, I'm missing somebody here. Oh, there you are. Attacking me with your shitty iron dagger. You see that? Novice conjurer. Heh, rookie. Now you gotta love him. Anyway, you have to read the mod authors page to get the full details on exactly how that works. But when you are outside and you're trying to sneak up on something, the conditions, the weather conditions, can affect your sneak ability. If it's, you know, a bright sunny day, good luck. You're not going to get very far. But if there's fog, or if it's nighttime, if it's raining, something like that, it can help. So the problem with that one, though, one of the reasons I was holding off with that is because you know, if you're going to use a weather mod, you should use an ENB that works well with it. And most ENBs are made to work with a particular weather mod, or in some cases, like Re-Engaged ENB, I've used that one before. There's multiple, I don't know, it was like 8 or 9 different presets for different weather types, even vanilla weather. So whatever weather mod you're using, you grab that version of that that preset for that ENB. The ones that the mod author recommended to go with raid weathers, I didn't like the way they looked. I did not like them, any of them. So I started experimenting with a few things, and I ended up putting Mythical ENB back in, and so far it looks pretty decent. It's a little bit different than Mythical Ages weathers, but it's not bad. Uh-oh. Dumbasses.
It'll be so much easier to roll when you're dead.
No one bests an orc.
I got laughed there because I knew that guy shot him with an arrow. I really like this tree mod. Okay, so, yeah, weather, Raid Weathers and Mythical ENB is back in, and so far it's a pretty nice combination. I need to see it in different parts, different times of day and some different weather conditions to be sure that's what I want to go with, but so far I like it. This is my house mod. Or my other house mod, I guess. I have two of them now. So I guess I could say this is my other one. This is a Lakeshore Cabin. This was the first mod that I actually finished, believe it or not. I don't know how many mods I've started. Probably more than a dozen that got started and never finished. This was the first one I actually stuck to it and finished it. It came out very, very nice. I'm quite happy with it. So, one of the interesting things I want to talk about was when I was making those videos, just for the lulz, and I'm going through all that old footage from my last Let's Play, I got to one episode, I think it was episode 72, and I called it A Hot Mess in the Hot Springs. And I called it that because it was absolute chaos. If you want, yeah, you can see for yourself if you want to go and watch that. About 20 minutes into it, I end up fighting, well, most of it's my fault, I'll give you that, but I end up fighting, I think, 2 giants, maybe 3, I'm not even sure now, I can't remember. There's a couple of mammoths, a couple of bears, a wolf, a Dark Brotherhood assassin, some red guard who attacked me for no reason at all, some spell sword, a bodyguard, a noble's bodyguard, and a dragon. Yeah, it was a mess. It was absolute chaos, and it was quite the mess. So I figured A Hot Mess in the Hot Springs was a pretty appropriate name for that episode. But it got me to wondering if
You're interfering with official Tholmor business.
I haven't even begun to interfere. Here. Have, let's see. Have an axe. Well, he wasn't much help. Oh, did I mention I was just going to be beating the crap out of people at random? That's kind of what I do. So anyway, that was a pretty chaotic episode there. But it got me to wondering if anything like that has ever happened to me in real life. And yeah, I did remember an episode, an incident once that was very chaotic. So I'll see if I can describe it first. Accurately. I didn't give you a chance there, did I, buddy? Did your ears just fold back? But I'm seeing things. Okay, so I was living in Cincinnati at the time. I got this apartment. This is that grass mod I was telling you about. Grass fields. And I've got my alarm set. I don't remember. It was like 5:30 or 6, something like that. I worked pretty early. Yeah, jeez, werewolves. Let's go this way. So I'm there. I'm sound asleep. Everything's fine. And then a series of events happened, and it was just one after another. First, there was a loud explosion, right? immediately followed by, well, I mean, see, the explosion was kind of like more of a crash type sound, which immediately followed by the sound of an explosion, a flash of bright blue light, and my alarm clock went off. All of this it was just like crash, boom, flash, beep, 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 beep. And I was like, I just bolted out of bed. I'm looking around. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I'm standing there. I'm trying to figure out what happened. And I'm completely confused. I'm sitting here thinking, okay, well, what all just happened here? And I'm starting to think that, well, maybe somehow, my alarm clock is ringing, so maybe that explosion in, is that Thalmor? Oh, this just never gets old. You guys are just too much flippin' fun. Knock, knock. I didn't know I could do that, did you? Go ahead, let it rip. What are you waiting for? Let it rip. Come on. How? The moon's right there. What's wrong with you? Okay. Well, I guess you don't have to. You see how the grass in the distance is a different color? I've got another mod in, but I have to... You're a little late. I have to run Dynalod for that to work, I believe. Well, maybe I should check the load order again, but it's a mod called Darker Distant LOD, and it'll make the grass in the distance look almost identical to what's in the foreground, at least with this mod. I haven't tried it with other mods. But right now you can see the grass in the distance is a much different color. It's not good. But, yeah, that mod will take care of that. But I think I have to run Dynalod first to get that to work. Which I'll get to soon. So anyway. Crash, boom, bright flash of blue light, alarm clock goes off. I'm trying to figure out what the heck is going on. And I started to wonder if maybe in my sleep, in my dream state, my alarm clock went off, and in my dream I interpreted that as a crash and a boom. I mean, dreams are funky stuff, so I'm thinking, oh, well, maybe that was it. But then what was with the flash of blue light? I was like, I know I saw that. I didn't dream that. So I look over at my alarm clock, because I want to turn it off, because it's annoying as hell, because that's what alarm clocks do. And there's no display. I'm like, what? Wait, I mean, the thing's beeping away. I can hear it, but I have no display. So I'm still kind of in a little bit of a confused state here. So I go to turn the light on. The light won't turn on. Okay. I don't know what's up with that. Did I blow a bulb? Was that what the flash of blue was? One of my bulbs blew? I don't know. So I open the door of the bedroom. I go in the hallway, turn on the hallway light, and that doesn't come on either. I'm like, okay, I have no power. So finally, I start to figure out, okay, the reason I have no power, yeah, power's out. I said that might explain what the explosion and the flash of blue was. A transformer blew up, and it was one close by, and it's where the power, that it was an apartment complex. So I said, okay, well that explains that. But then I'm sitting here thinking, well, wait a minute, I heard a loud crash. I mean, the boom, the explosion sound, the flash of blue, okay, transformer blew up. But what about the sound I heard before that? So the more I thought about it, yo, Mike, what's crapping, shithead?
Maik's father was also called Maik, as was Maik's father's father. At least, that is what his father said. I am staying out of this.
All right. So I kind of figured that, well, maybe there was a car accident and they hit a utility pole and that's what knocked out the transformer. So I throw some clothes on. There's a hill behind my apartment and there's a road up on that hill. So I throw some clothes on. I go down to the end of the drive from my apartment complex and make the turn and come up the hill. And sure enough, I see the top half of the utility pole hanging from the wires, dangling back and forth, and there's tire tracks, burnt rubber, whatever, and then there's a car down the hill, slammed into a tree. So I'm like, holy crap! So I go down there, and about a minute after, there's nobody in the car, okay, but about a minute later, somebody else shows up, and we're checking everything out, and cops show up, as they usually do. But we're looking at this car, and we're looking inside it. There's nobody inside it. It doesn't look like there's any blood or anything, like anybody in here got injured. But clearly they took off running. So we figured the car might have been stolen or something. Let's see. What time is it now? Oh, according to that, it's 9 something. Okay, I'll wait a little bit longer, and then I'm gonna wait till daytime, because I kind of want to see what the graphics are like in the daytime. Tell you what, let's do just see how dark it gets. Okay, not that dark. I can make it a lot darker with the ENB. If I need to. So anyway, we're looking in the car, and I look in the back seat, and there's a bunch of, this was a few years back, there's a bunch of cassettes, video cassettes, VHS tapes. There's a bunch of them in there, and they are episodes of a TV show. Take a guess what TV show those videotapes are from. Cops. Very funny. So yeah, the cops did show up, and one of them was looking around. I was talking to another one. We were talking for a little bit, and I said, "Hey, did you see what's in the back seat?" He said, "No, I didn't notice." And I said, "It's a bunch of VHS tapes of the TV show Cops." He's like, "No way." So we had a good chuckle about that, and it didn't look like there was anybody got injured from that, and obviously whoever was driving that took off. So I go back to the house, or back to my apartment, and I get showered and get cleaned up. I'm getting dressed and getting ready to go to work, and I hear a knock at the door. I'm like, who the hell's knocking on my door at this hour? Because it's like 6:30 in the morning. I'm like, who's going to be knocking on my door at 6:30 in the morning? Let's see. Where do we want to go? Do we want to go? I don't want to go into snowy regions just yet. Let's wait till morning so we can see a little bit better. Let's see. 7 hours. That'll be plenty. So I open the door, and there's a cop at my door, and I'm on a second floor, so my door is right there at the top of the stairs. And I'm looking at the bottom of the stairs. There's another cop with the dog, and he's asking me questions about that. And he's like, "Our dog tracked you from that accident scene, and what do you know about it?" He's like really accusatory, like maybe I was the one that was driving the car. I was like, "Did you talk to your buddy up there?" I ran up there to help out. And no. You let me get bit, man. So I just thought that was funny. I was like, did you even talk to your buddy? What put this stuff here? Oh, this must be the Skyrim bridges that put this here. I don't know if I approve of this. It's gone. Y'all don't have a permit for these barricades.
Where are you?
I gotta disable that feature that makes things go dim. That it? Anybody else want some? Yeah, I'm acting all tough when I have God mode enabled. So yeah, that was just funny. But the dog actually tracked me from the accident site to my to my apartment. That was a interesting story there. Here's the bodyguard that was constantly attacking me before. You know what? I want payback.
Someone do something! Ah. Never should have come here.
Shut up, horse. I'll just steal you then, if you're gonna be like that. Just tired of walking anyway. The graphics look a little bit softer with this weather mod. They look nice though. I could bump up the sharpness a little bit with the ENB. Alright, so I mentioned before, I told you I have a couple good stories for you. I got another one. I mentioned before that I was watching some videos recently about you know, ghosts and paranormal and stuff like that. So I kind of feel like about 99% of that is, well, I don't want to say fake or complete crap, but I think some of it is fake. I think some of it is you know, digital stuff. I think some of it might be people seeing what they want to see and not especially what's there. So, but there's still that 1% of me that says maybe some of that's real, maybe some of that's there. I don't know. So I got to thinking to myself again, and I said, well, has anything unusual that I can't explain ever happened to me? Hang on. Let's see. I'm going to ditch the horse. If you attack me, though, I'm going to shove you off a cliff. You alright? So anyway, I'm thinking to myself, has anything odd ever happened in my entire life? Now, there's always plenty of things. Always some, you know, what was that sound? I don't know. I thought I saw something. You know, everybody's had experiences like that. But I mean something that was really stands out as just being freaky, scary, and to where you cannot come up with a reasonable explanation for it. And there was one situation. There was actually two, but one of them involved our dog, and it had more to do with the dog than anything else. So I don't know if that was just the dog was getting old and senile or what. So we'll leave that one out. But there's only one other one. So let me paint a little bit of a picture for you. This is when I was about 11 years old, and we lived in this old Victorian style house. A little bigger than your average house, but even though it was a Victorian style, it wasn't huge. It only had one bathroom. Well, there was a half bath in the basement, but that was added in. It wasn't original. So anyway, it was 3 floors. Now on the top floor, if you're facing the house and looking at it, the window on the top floor that you see, that was the window to my bedroom. And there was a hallway that ran left and right. And on the other side of that, opposite my room, was my sister's room. Now, this hallway was more of a... Well, it was technically a hallway, but it was kind of like a small room or a big hallway. I had a table set up in there, you know, make models and jigsaw puzzles and stuff on it. So it was big enough that I could have a small table in there and you can still walk through there. So anyway, it was probably... The stairs were at one end of the hallway, and then it was probably 8 feet or so till you get to where my door and my sister's door are, which had been on your left and right as you're walking down this hallway. And it went a little bit further. There was another room on the left. Man, you slow, man. You almost let me get bit again. There was another room on the left corner that would have been next to my sister's room, and that was just... I think that's where my mom did some of her sewing and things. She had her sewing machine in there. She didn't really use it much. It ended up being more of a junk room than anything else. But anyway, one evening, and this was on a school night, I believe, because I think we were supposed to be getting our asses to bed, but it's probably about 10 o'clock, so my sister and I are still awake. The light's on in my room, the light's on in her room, the light's on out in the hallway. If I'm sitting on my bed, I can look out my door and see into her room, and she's sitting on her bed and she can look and see me, so we can see each other, and we're just chatting and laughing and stuff, you know, like she's a year older than me, so, you know, 11, 12-year-olds do, yak, yak, yak. And just then, out of nowhere, we hear a scream. And I don't mean, hey, did you hear that? It kind of sounded like a scream. No, it was a scream. I mean, a loud scream. I mean, very loud. And it was a female's voice, an adult female, and it came from the end of the hall where the top of the stairs are. It was exceptionally loud, and it lasted probably 3-4 seconds. I can't replicate it because I don't really sound like a adult female, but it was it was a really loud scream. So, you know, we both just kind of bolted upright, looked at each other, our eyes got wide open, our jaws dropped, and we just kind of froze, and we're staring at each other, not saying a word. And we're just staring at each other. I'm like, holy crap, what the hell was that? There's a scream in the house. Now, if you're wondering, well, did it come from outside? No, this scream was definitely in the house. It wasn't the dog. The dogs are downstairs. It was an adult human scream. And that is just burned into my memory. Oddly enough, my sister doesn't remember that, though. I don't know why. Because I talked to her a couple of years ago when I was up visiting, and I was telling that story, and she's like, really? I don't remember that. I was like, how in the hell do you not remember that? Well, so far everything seems to be running smoothly. So anyway, we're both just kind of frozen place looking at each other like, what the hell was that? And then I hear there's a door on the bottom of the stairs that lead up to the 3rd floor. I hear that door handle start to move. And I was like, oh, what is that? And then I hear the door open. So I'm kind of freaking out some more. I'm like, man, whatever screamed is now opening the door. Is it going downstairs? What's happening? And just then I hear my dad call up to us, asking if we made that noise. And I said, no, it wasn't us. I thought it came from down there. And he said, no, it definitely came from up there. So I don't think he believed us one bit. I think he was pretty well convinced we were the ones that made that. One of us made that noise, but I assure you it wasn't. That was one very, very freaky experience. But that's the only thing I can think of. Other than that time the dog got weird. Yeah, that's the only thing that, I mean, you hear a scream in the house and you don't know what caused it. Run, dummy. That's something you just never forget, unless you're my sister. I have no idea how she doesn't remember that. I might tell you what. The light stayed on in my room that night, and probably the next 3 or 4 nights. I got almost no sleep for the next several days. Because the last thing I want to do is turn out the lights. Alright, so let's see. I have probably another 20 or 30 mods that I'm going to install. Some of them are JKs, and of course there's the water and the lighting mod and a number of patches, and I got to make a few last minute tweaks to a couple of my mods. So, you know, I'm hoping in the next week then I'll have all that stuff wrapped up and get this Let's Play started, because I know I've been talking about it for a while. It was supposed to, if everything worked out right, begin at the Let's Play would begin at the start of the year. A little behind schedule, but you know, Emberwood Bar took longer than expected, but I'm kind of a perfectionist sometimes, so I just like my mods to look good and work right. So anyway, I think we're gonna wrap this up. This video has gone on a lot longer than I thought it would, but I at least had those two stories I wanted to tell, and those are both true stories. I'm not making those up. I swear I'm not making those up. The first one with the car crashing and hitting the utility pole, that was hilarious, because the timing of everything. I mean the crash and the explosion and a flash of blue, that part made sense, but it happened a second before my alarm clock went off. So it was just those series of events, you know, and then my alarm clock on top of it starts going off, and I was so confused for a good minute or so. And then the one with the scream in the house, still to this day, I have no explanation for that. Anyway, I was really expecting this video to be about 30 minutes, 35, maybe 40. I think we've gone a little beyond that. So hopefully it wasn't too flippin' boring. I did have those two stories that I wanted to tell. You gave me a rock joint, bat rastard. Anybody else? Yeah, there is. Wow. Man, now I gotta go get cured. Nah, I'm gonna wrap up this video here. It's had enough of this. I mean, so far everything looks pretty good. I know some people are running like you know, 500 mods, 1,000 mods. I'm not gonna do that. It's just gonna take way too long, because I try to research these mods a lot. I read the comment section to see if a lot of people are having a common issue. You know, is there something with this mod, or is it just, are people having mod conflicts? I try to determine that by reading some of the comments, and then I have to test them out. It takes a while, and if I wanted to install every mod that I thought, oh, that sounds like a cool mod, I'd never get the Let's Play going. It would take months. That's mostly because of me, but I mean, it would take a long time to get the load order put together. So I have a pretty good idea of the mods I want right now. I've got 93 in, which like I said, I think I'm going to end up probably around 120, 130, so there's not too much more to it. Anyhow, let me get this wrapped up. I got some editing to do, and I'll get this thing uploaded. So hopefully you didn't find this thing entirely boring. And let me know what you think of the visuals, the ENB, the weather, and let me know if you had any weird occurrences happen to you. You know, you heard any screams in your house, or any unusual things like that? Things walking around that shouldn't be, or a crazy scenario about car crashes and flashes of blue light. Let me know if anything happened to you. And yeah, let me know what you think of the visuals. Is there anything I should adjust on here? Like I said, I think everything looks pretty good. Visuals overall look a bit soft, and I think that's more the weather mod than the ENB, but I might be able to tweak that a little bit. Anyway, let me get going. I've got some more mods to look at and a few patches to get loaded, and we should be kicking this thing off pretty soon. I hope. I haven't played the game in like 8 or 9 months, and I'm kind of itching for it. So anyway, that'll do it for now. Thanks for watching. Take it easy, and I will see you next time.